This is a fun one because PartinG's back from the military. PartinG is back from the military. Rejoice all the sugar puppy bears. The big boy's back. And he's taking on ByuN here in this best of 3, the round of 8 of EPT NA 209. And more importantly than just this being EPT NA 209. Oh, I just realized, I'm sorry, the intro music was loud because a fader got pushed. That's unfortunate. Really apologize. Sorry about that. I'll try to, if you're watching this on YouTube, hopefully I found a way to fix it. But anyway, jeez, I fixed this before I went on break, and still it's being dumb. PartinG's back from the military. He has some of the best PvT of all time. It's him and Trap that are sitting there like plus 75% all time in the matchup. And now we're going to have to see whether he's got what it takes here to take down ByuN, who had a better ESL Masters Atlanta than I thought he was going to. I'm not going to lie. ByuN has always been good offline, certainly. But online, excuse me, certainly, but not all that great offline. He's had wrist issues all over the place, but taking down Raynor, taking maps off Serral offline is really, really impressive. Like, he had a really solid, a better run than I expected him to, and it feels like ever so slowly he's starting to get himself figured out, starting to get himself in this position where he can play in offline events and can really showcase being ByuN, which is fantastic. It makes me so happy. And really the question now is how good is PartinG? I believe PartinG has been practicing on the down low. Obviously you can't compete, you can't make money off of it, but has been kind of practicing on the down low for the extent of his military, because I know he was playing in Stormgate events, playing Stormgate stuff while that was happening, and we had, you know, things would have to get scheduled around him because he would have to go back to work. But I think he was doing like the civil servant thing or whatever it is, which means you do get to go home at the end of the day, and if you want to play video games, you can. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of shape PartinG is back into this. Again, this is the round of 8, and not only is this just the round of 8 of 209, this is one of the most stacked EPT NAs we've had in a long time. It's got Clem, it's got Cure, it's got Dark, it's got Max Packs, it's got Raynor, it's got ByuN, it's got PartinG, and I'm forgetting someone. It is an insanely stacked EPT NA. And so to see PartinG get into there is really, really solid. Meanwhile, Adepts on the other side are going to be able to shade out in time. So really no value. Reaper on the main base got a little bit. It's a pro. Oh, he actually, PartinG got the, yeah, it was a full wall. I was going to say PartinG got the Reaper. That's a surprise. But he trapped him in the wall. You can't get out of that one. So Reaper went down, got a full scout, and ByuN, I think he's very worried about PartinG doing PartinG things, getting aggressive, going for a proxy gateway or something, leaning into the max pack build. PartinG loved that before he went to the military. But that's not what's happening in this game. PartinG just going pretty standard here. Additional gateways on the way, so this should be, yeah, this is 4-gate blink game 1. PartinG always so good at anything micro engaged, any sort of blink micro. So what is this? It's going to be a single cyclone in the medevac, getting a probe here, a probe there. Generally we see this drop with 2 because it kills things a lot faster, but for now it's only going to be the 1. Blink's done in 5 seconds. Cyclone tries to kill the Stalker, but again, while this does bonus damage to armored units, and that's a big deal, well, it's gonna get it's not gonna get a Stalker. There's a shield battery here, so Cyclone will go down. Medevac gets low, but won't fall down, not for the moment. Question though is whether ByuN is whether he's aware of what's happening here. I tried to show what we saw, but the thing died. We saw the 1 gate, we saw the 2nd. This, I think he's gonna know this is a 3rd because he saw the robo here and he saw, okay, you know what, this is gonna be a full wall, so there's got to be something filling it. It's probably a gateway. I'm going to assume that he knows what's happening because that's an intelligent read. So behind this, he's building his wall up here. He's got a ton of Marines. Tank done, tank 1 done, tank 2 done on the way here. But because of this opener, because of this medevac cyclone opener, and medevac cyclone banshee opener, there's really not a lot available to ByuN. His stim is very far away. He needs bunkers, and he doesn't have them at all. He's was gonna say, I think I would assume he's got the read. He doesn't have it, not at all. No bunkers here is a big deal. One Stalker blinks forward. Tank's gonna go down in 2 shots very quickly here. And now PartinG gets to do what PartinG wants to do. He gets damage done. Yeah, there's gonna be another tank showing up as we see Barracks get shut down. Here's Stalker's blink on top, and ByuN is in, well, he's in a really rough spot here. This Banshee on the other side, by the way, sure, it's worth something. Stalker's blink on top of the tank. They're gonna get the 3rd one as well. At this point, Stalker's starting to take a little bit more damage, and this, well, the Banshee on the other side, it's not going to get enough done here. There's a shield battery. Stalker's warp in at home. More damage done, more Stalker's warp in, and now at this point, ByuN, he needs something here. He really needs, it's desperation to this point. Blinks around. The SCVs are doing what they can, but it's not enough. Yeah, Stalkers are now finally going down, but literally everything in ByuN's base is going down. SCVs, 15 of them are dead. Tanks pop out. PartinG doesn't even bother. He blinks out because the damage has been done. And this Banshee has not gotten enough. He's got 4 probes. I guess technically 3. I think 1 was scouting. He's killed 3 probes. ByuN took a lot more. And he's still gonna have to contend with these 4 Stalkers in a Warp Prism. These 4 Stalkers in a Warp Prism that are a one-shot Marines. They one-shot SCVs. And by the way, ByuN, his stim is miles away here, so he's gonna get a couple more SCVs. There's a tank. It's not easy to one-shot. It's not easy to kill this tank, but it's more SCVs going down. It's more damage on the Marines, so even if ByuN wants to get active before medevacs, he can't. Not at all. These units are just going to be way too low, as there's a tank sieged up in the natural, but PartinG's found every room there too. So now it's 6 Stalkers in the natural here. More economic damage going down, and ByuN is just not tracking this the way he needs to. Now, PartinG wasn't quite target firing the way he would like, so he could have gotten a couple more SCVs there, but 54 workers to 40. PartinG, he's got charge halfway done, +1 on the way. Colossus number 1, I think, pretty sure. Okay, no, Colossus number 1 on the way. More gateways on the way. 3rd base done. PartinG is, I know I was talking about how I'm pretty sure he was playing in the military because he was playing Zero Space or Stormgate in the military. Well, seems like his wrist got a little stronger too, because his blink micro today is fantastic. Stalkers, that was a bit of a misblink, but in the warp, I don't even know if it was the Warp Prism on top of it, so I think that might have been a blink forward, get a little more damage, pick up, go away. It's fine. Also, I don't know if I should be totally surprised, because this is the 2nd time now that PartinG has come back from a break. This time it's from the military. He took a year-long break at one point, like a pseudo retirement, before he came back to Starcraft. As this drop gets nothing done at all. It's very dead, or at least if not dead, it's not going to find the value at once. Maybe from the low ground, yeah, gets the medevac down, and yes, there's none load, but Stalkers for the most part. 2 of them fall gladly. You do that for 10 supply, actually more than that out of the medevac. But yeah, PartinG for the he's old hat at coming back from breaks. If we look at any player that would come back from the military and I would expect to be really strong right out of the gate, I think PartinG would be the one, because again, he's done it before. I thought he went off to military when he took the first break, but no, he just didn't play for a while. I don't know exactly what he did. But at this point, +1's done. Extended Thermal Lance is done very quickly. 4th base on the way. PartinG, he's got everything he could want. He doesn't have to get aggressive onto the Terran 3rd, but he doesn't have to not as well. Especially as he goes on, yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like he should add a 3rd Colossus. It's kind of that inflection point where it makes Marines die so much quicker. It's a lot of that power, but he delayed it for a little bit in favor of getting a 2nd Forge and getting his 4th base and getting additional gateways and getting a robo, getting a 2nd robo, excuse me. But now with the pressure on here, that's a lot of charge loss. That's a lot of Stalkers, and yeah, ByuN has Widow Mines, but nothing really to keep this base alive. There's like 1 tank. So, well, actually, PartinG's going to take the fight right now. Good force field. Great force field goes down. And now at this point, that means that there's 1 tank here playing defensively. The army's not quite fighting the way it would like, and actually PartinG's got to be careful. ByuN wants to get on top of the Colossus, blinks away, but the Colossus are staying away here. Actually picks one up anyways. 13 more SCVs go down. And the pressure continues coming out of PartinG right now. Continues to find that value. Stalkers playing forward. Widow Mines are not great, actually. They don't get a ton. Now the tanks are falling. Vikings are, there are 2 of them. That's not enough at all here. So the Colossus, the Stalkers, the Zealots, everything coming on in for PartinG at this point means that there is not a lot that ByuN has remaining in this game. He's got 5 Marauders, 3 Marines, and a Viking, and a lot of stuff in production. That is not enough for ByuN to deal with this army that PartinG has of Charge Lot, Stalker, everything else. 5th base on the way as well. 2-1 on the way as well. Double Observer, because why not? I think I'd like to see maybe something else, but Double Observer might as well. Zealots continue to filter in. Here's a 3rd Colossus as well. So really, at this point, there's not enough on the ground, and the slide as ByuN falls down. The big boy takes game 1. On the bottom right here in the red, he's up a game. Somehow, surprisingly, he's up a game. Fresh off the military. It's PartinG. Upper left in the blue, down a map. Kind of screwed up his opening. Let's see if he can bring it a little closer together here in game 2. It's ByuN. And by the way, I do apologize for the transitions not being all that fancy right now. I built this really cool post-game summary tool that only works when I'm casting live games. It's a little harder when we're looking at replays because it looks for the most recent replay and it doesn't work out all that well. But I totally removed all the other data that goes in that data stream. So that's not happening, but it'll get fixed soon enough. And of course, if you like what happens here, even with production issues as they are, hopefully the music was a little bit better that time, by the way. Production issues as they are, well, you should hit a sub or hit the sub button on YouTube. Videos go up 5, 6, 7 days a week. Starcraft, Stormgate. Saw the Stormgate show match games, other things as they happen. Hit a sub. It'll make your life better. But anyways, this is game 2. And in this game, well, ByuN's doing something a little bit obnoxious. He has gone for an eBay block. But PartinG did pull 5 probes as quick as possible. So he's got, I think you only need 3 to max that out. But he really wants to make sure that this is not something that ByuN's going to get away with. So he pulls the probes. He does heavy damage to the SCV. The base goes, or the Nexus will go down a little slow, but not the end of the world. And now the game goes on. ByuN again going for this more aggressive opening. Barracks factory into command center on the high ground. I want to say it was a barracks expand in game 1, but it was that high ground build. It did seem like ByuN maybe a little afraid of whatever shenanigans PartinG wants to pull, because he's PartinG and he likes to pull shenanigans. I don't, that's just how it works. I don't know. Regardless, Hellion opener coming out of ByuN here in this game number 2. 2 Hellions on the way. Tells you probably we're gonna have to see if he commits to it, but my assumption would be that this would be Hellion drops. Generally, otherwise you're only gonna get the 1. There are some builds where the Terran player goes and they say, yeah, I'm gonna go Reaper Hellion, 3 Reapers, 5 Hellions, or something like that. But that's not this game. And ByuN, well, he's got 2 Hellions on the map for the moment. Actually, I guess there's some other more builds that have kind of popped up around the Atlanta time period where you go Cyclone drops, but this time it's going to be 2 Hellions instead of the 1, just because you have the reactor and you're really gas capped at that point anyways, into the Widow Mine drop behind this. So PartinG's going to have to deal with harassment in his natural. Hellion run bys in the natural. As likely, he's going to have a run by in the main base at the same time. Those are the 2 things he's going to have to pay attention to. And he's PartinG. He's been playing really fast. His micro's absolutely been on point. So I think he's up to it. And for now, it's going to be 3 gate blink. Maybe he gets a 4th. I don't know. I would not hate that. He got a ton of damage done in game 1. And if we want to talk about PartinG for a second, as the Hellions think about diving in, well, they're not paired up with the Widow Mines yet. So as there's a shield battery here, a Stalker and Adept, they're not going to get a ton on the dive in. There were rumors that when PartinG went off to the military, one of the reasons why MaxPax PvT got so good was PartinG gave MaxPax all of his builds. Because he's off in the military, he's not going to need him. And that was one of the reasons why we saw MaxPax get really good all of a sudden. Now, I can neither confirm nor deny this, but that was a rumor. Even still. ByuN going for the Banshee. Oh, man, ByuN is really committing to harassment here. 3 Widow Mines in the medevac, off of a 2 Hellion opener into Banshee. I technically cloaked for a second, but that's been canceled. Into Banshee play behind this. And PartinG's going 3-gate blink, which is really good against all of this, assuming you don't take tons of damage from the Widow Mine. And well, first split's going to be solid. Stalker's getting damage done. Stalker's in the main base as well, getting heavy damage here. And ByuN screws up his opener again. Second time now. This time, actually, it's even worse because the medevac died. Second time now, ByuN goes for heavy aggression early on, gets nothing done with it, and PartinG's going to run onto the other side of the map, get damage done. There's a pseudo wall. Hellions have to be a little slower, and now it's a single one. Stalkers, they're going to block things out as well. Everything's going wrong here for ByuN in this game, too. Everything's going wrong for PartinG in this game number 2, or for ByuN in this game number 2. And now PartinG, well, because ByuN is, he went triple Widow Mine drop, Hellion drop. Now he's got Banshees on the way. His stim is just about as slow as game 1. There's not that traditional timing where all of a sudden you're happy. You have bio, you can stim, you can fight. It's all about these tanks, and that tank does not cover a lot of the area. So 3 SCVs go down here to start. The Banshee loitering on the bottom side because ByuN needs his APM to make sure his main base stays alive. So he's going to shift click in. I think, do we have a shield battery? It's done just in time. He's going to get 1 probe easily, but the rest of them, they should be okay. And again, PartinG is just, he's in a wonderful spot. Maybe spending another warp in, maybe spending, well, I would assume spending a warp in at home, so that slows down the aggression a little bit. But I'm honestly very surprised we're not seeing him dive on top of the tank. There is room to dive on top of this tank when they're not really sectioned up, but I guess he's worried. So for now, he's going to go and deny mining in the main base, kill off a couple SCVs right there, wait for the tank to research, but he doesn't see it. So now he's going to take some shots. And does he dive on top of this? No, there are 2 of them. It's not worth it. And while this could have been a disaster for ByuN, and it's, trust me, it's still not great. It's not as bad as it could have been. I really thought we were going to see ByuN do more. Now he blinks around, or PartinG do more as he blinks around, gets a little bit more damage, but there's a tank there, and that was a pretty wounded Stalker. So 5 workers. He's got, well, Warp Prism in the main base. Decent amount of wounded SCVs, but tanks cover everything. Not going to get a lot, although he does a nice job waiting out time as much as possible. Also, as I'm casting this, talking about PartinG and his return, apparently, so I'm recording this the day after these games happen, just for those of you on YouTube looking for context. Apparently, PartinG's stream just convinced him, or I guess there was some sort of roulette thing that maybe, I don't know. His stream convinced him, his stream won a 100 game stream, so he's not going to do a 24-hour stream as the Banshee goes down too. He's not going to do a 24-hour stream necessarily. He's playing 100 games on stream, which I think is actually crazier. The endurance that you need to play. Pro players, they're going to maybe play 30 games a day. Something like that. 100 games is ridiculous. One of the when some players occasionally do a best of 69 or something, one of the things you worry about is like, okay, how is their endurance for playing that? I don't even know. Regardless, PartinG's in a great spot in this game. He didn't quite get as much damage done as he did last, but he's still up 14 workers. He still has all this pressure. He's got more zealots done. Charge is done here. And he's going to try to flood ByuN. As ByuN wants to move out of the map. Baits him out here. And the zealots, okay, no, he's not going to go for this. Why would he go for the surround? The supply is not big enough. But he is going to shark around the main base. When ByuN moves out for real, if ByuN moves out for real, it's going to be 4 zealots plus warp-ins in the main base, forcing ByuN back. So ByuN is not in the best position. ByuN is really not in the best position to make anything happen. He's going to have to turtle this game out again. And that means PartinG's got his 4th base on the way. He's got extended thermal lance done very quickly. He's got 2 Colossus done, 3rd one on the way. I'd almost like to see him just add a 2nd Warp Prism as the Zealots. PartinG's not going to happen, but he tries to snipe the 2nd missile turret before it goes up just to really give him that attack avenue in, because right now the Warp Prism's too low to get in past 2 missile turrets easily. So he tried to snipe the missile turret as it went in, tried to snipe the SCV as it went in. Didn't really happen. regardless. Parting again, 4th base on the way, 2nd forge on the way, 3rd Colossus done. And this timing that Parting has now, as much as I would like to say it's a really solid timing, he's on 8 gateways, he's going up to 10. His army supply's not great right now. He has powerful tech, but we do need maybe a couple more warp-in rounds. And it is hard to attack through this avenue that we're looking at. He's gonna probably have to go through this way, which is a little bit easier to attack through, but also SimCity's better design. Zealot's gonna really, really bash their heads against supply depots and not get on top of these 3 tanks as much. So I guess actually, as I say that, I think we're gonna want to see him attack in this angle. And that's a nasty choke. Questions of whether he's gonna be able to pull it off as we see what's the observer speed? I get these 2 icons so messed up, but I want to, yeah, he's got observer speed on the way, so that's just going to give him that much more map control, that much more vision. Here we go, Parting. Round 2, fight. I can't do it. Anyway, round 2 on the way. Zealots are going to look to run forward. Widow Mines are not going to get the best connections, but the tank shots are really nice. And this is a Terran that has turtled, and Parting, historically, very good against active players, very good against aggressive players, but I think back to his game on Death Aura against TY, back before the military, back when he was the best Protoss player in the world back 3 years ago. TY got super far behind, incredibly far behind. And then he built 12 tanks, and he played this turtle up 4-base style, and Parting tried to break him time and time again. That was actually the genesis of the charge lot blink DT style that was really meta for quite a while before it got nerfed a decent amount. But that was the thing that we saw for a while, where you get a lot of blink DTs, you blink and try to get damage done. And TY and Parting took the map, but TY bled him dry anyways. Parting has theoretically struggled a little bit more against turtling Terran play compared to anything else. But he's got his 5th base on the map. We've got disruptors on the way, 2-1 on the way, adding in that dark shrine. And I would like to think that Parting has learned a thing or two. Certainly he's been in the military for the last 18 months, so maybe they maybe they teach Sun Tzu there. Maybe they teach the art of war there. Maybe some military tactics that he can employ. I don't know. But he is moving on to the next stage. So he's got +1 air on the way. He's got a fleet, or he's got a Stargate on the way. And I think this is just going to be for Tempest. Carriers are nice, sure, but you get 5 Tempests and you just start to pick away at things. You get 6 or 7 just to make sure you have what you need. As disruptor shots go fishing, but Parting is not going to find anything. There are no fish in these waters, although this is a top. ByuN has to be careful moving down the ramp like this. This is a little bit scary. Viking count's decent, but there are enough stalkers and enough disruptors to zone things out, I think. And if Parting wants, this is an awkward position to fight to. He's holding it because he has the line of sight blocker for now. But he can also hold the high ground, like he's rotating over to, and just start to poke away like that. You got to be careful about EMPs. His army's lacking a significant amount of HP. But holding the high ground like that is a really nice way to play. It makes it kind of hard as, well, stalkers. It takes some fights they don't want to. And now we got War Prism speed on the way. 3-2 on the way. +1 air attack, blink DTs, everything you could possibly want. As Parting is going to blink on. There we go. No, he doesn't have to blink on top. The ghost dies anyways. A couple fellas looking for the run by. But I want to say, I think it's fair to say that ByuN has successfully. These results are going to get a tank, which is fantastic. That's gas for minerals. You love that as the Protoss player. Parting has successfully, or ByuN has successfully taken his 4th base, but Parting's got his 6th, and look at how many gateways he's adding, and how many Stargates he's adding. He wants to make sure that he can take a fight. He's maxed out. He doesn't have a lot of gas. That's really important to point out here, but he's got a ton of minerals. And I think we just want to see him take a fight. He's going to look to flood with 3-2 Zealots. I think that's going to be the play. Right now he's on 15 gateways. He's going to go on up to 19 gateways. 20 and 40 army supply of Zealot just coming in after the fight is so nice, as the DTs are going to find their way into the 3rd base as well. And ByuN's reacting, but slowly. So 11 SCVs go down. And Parting, ByuN does a good job on the army split. He's not really going to have an opportunity to really jump on top of this, but maybe as ByuN takes his 5th. Because now ByuN, well, another observer goes down. Because now ByuN has 3 angles he's got to defend. This kind of south side, high ground position. He's got the middle of the map that he's got to defend, and attacking through the north side. It's still pretty contained. But ByuN does have 3 angles that he's got to defend against as he's trying to max out here. Disruptor shot doesn't really land, I assume. And ByuN is adding on Liberator play. He's moving on. He's got Advanced Ballistic, +1, really +2 Liberators with that one-shot Stalkers with an EMP where it really, really matters. But now, because there's so much pressure on the right side, DTs, they don't even have to blank him. They're going to kill this Planetary. Now blink on top of the tanks. There we go. This is big damage. This is finally what PartinG was looking for. Yeah, he's going to lose the DTs. Who cares? He got a base. He got a Planetary. He forced the 5th base away. He's going to get... Oh, nice target fire there on the Widow Mines, though. Make sure the Observer goes down. ByuN, though, looking for the surround. Not really going to find it. Vikings aren't really... I mean, that's a lot of Vikings. That is a significant amount of Vikings, but they're not winning the fight anyways, despite +1. And despite us being on like 12 or 14 Vikings, ByuN doesn't get what he wants at all. Not at all. And now this fight coming in from PartinG. He's got the Remax. Disruptor shots are going to land a little bit. And yeah, the Colossus are starting to fall down now. But it's not enough. And, well, ByuN's giving the surround a little bit more. Now, finally, we see the Colossus are dead, but this army on the ground feels like it's a little bit too much here. Disruptors will get targeted down. And maybe I spoke too soon. The bio coming out of ByuN is really, really strong. But the Zealot, this is 19 gate Zealot with heavy upgrades. ByuN just doesn't have the money to reinforce. He doesn't have the minerals to reinforce anymore. The DTs, just one DT does so much damage. And the big boy, he twists it, he grabs it. And ByuN gets knocked out in the round of 8. PartinG moves on to face Clem. And of course, if you like this, make sure to hit that sub button. It really does help everything out. 5 days a week, Starcraft Stormgate content. See you next time.